Love and Joe.
Hey, Timmy Tim Tim.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Así, ¿y tú?
Muy bien.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Um,
sí, sí.
see. Yeah, so we're jumping in here because, as you guys are listening to this, yours truly will be in Ireland,
Ay.
dancing and drinking Guinness, and
Oh.
maybe eating some potatoes. I don't,
Oh.
whatever they do over there. I don't know. That's why
Pomme
I'm
de
going.
terre.
See what?
Pomme de terre.
Pomme de terre. Um, I don't know. Can I say that? Anyway.
That's
Um,
French. It's white.
oh, I thought
It's a potato.
it's a potato. Oh, thank you. Oh, I was like pomme de terre. Anyway. Yeah.
It
So
means
I'll
apple of the earth.
apple of the earth. Yeah. So I'm gonna be traveling, and here in real time, Tim, we're getting ready for Thanksgiving, and it's
Are
kind of a
so
weird.
thankful.
It's kind of a weird week, like the holiday in the middle, and people are coming and
Yeah.
going, and time. I don't know.
Listen, people, I saw a TikTok about this. If you are currently, well, I mean, this won't apply to you now, but I hope that this holiday week you weren't as productive as you usually are because you deserve some rest and
Amen.
relaxation if
That's
you've
right.
been doing the work.
If you've been putting in the work, let's be
Yeah.
clear.
So hopefully your bosses don't care. They're in Bora Bora. So just, take some peace for
Take some
yourself.
peace. Earn that money, but chill.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we do have a recommendation though for you guys if you're looking to chill, because Tim, you just finished, and I'm so fucking excited to talk to you about this because we have not talked about it off camera.
We have
Like
not.
literally, I was like, save it for the pod, because I really want to talk to somebody a little in depth about Interview with a Vampire,
Yes.
the
And I think you're going to be
AMC.
very upset with me.
Oh no! I see. I had a feeling with how you responded yesterday, like that it wasn't for you, and I was like, oh
No,
no.
it's not that it's not for me. It's just the
Okay.
parts that were for me
Hmm.
are are what I clung to. And I don't
Okay.
think everybody else probably clung to those either.
Okay. So let's do that. So we're talking about Interview with a Vampire. As of right now, there are two seasons, and I think for the most part, we've probably wrapped up Louis's story. I know
We
we're gonna
did.
get a third season that's more for Lestat's Rock Ages. We're not gonna get into the lore because I don't know the books. I
So
don't think
wait, we're not getting Louis at all?
I don't think in that part of the story that Louis is there, but I could be wrong.
Oh.
I
Aren't
think
they in love again?
well, I think that they've reconciled. I don't know that they are together. So,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know because I really don't know the books like that. Um, but this third season like teaser seems so Lestat focused that I think that
Yeah.
it's him as a rock star. This kind of side story that they do.
Yeah.
Um, but we
What
won't
was
get
he
into any of
doing
that.
while, he was fake terrorizing that man? Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The dude. Yeah, we won't get into that because we really don't know it, and we really just want to talk about the first two seasons. So,
yeah.
Tim, just high level, did you enjoy the show? Did you have a good time? Are you glad you
It was
watched it?
interesting.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
Um, I I felt very heightened and upset most of the time.
Okay.
Um,
Do you have any connection to the movie from the 90s? Had you ever watched it or seen it? Okay, so
Not at
you
all.
okay.
No.
So
I've
you
never
come
seen any of that.
into this with a really clean slate.
Yeah, I came
Okay.
in with a really clean slate, and the first thing I see is abuse.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, yes, like it is a love story. And I guess gays can be abused too. Like,
Hmm.
and for me, as someone who, um, I just come from a community where that's very like common.
Sure.
So it's not like I feel that like I was sold not just by you but other people. I was sold that it was like, oh, the love and I just saw
Oh,
somebody like I don't know. I just saw like somebody who couldn't get it out of their system
mm-hmm.
and eventually um just got back with that old thing, I guess. Like
Okay.
it was just a cycle of abuse. I mean, like one, you were with this man who was the love of your life, who was abusing, and then you tried to kill him, but didn't because you knew you weren't going to.
Yeah.
And then you got with another man who was mentally abusive. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like so. And then when you realized he was mentally abusive, you was like, so all men are abusive, so I might as well be with the one I want to be with. So that's what I got. The true love story for me
Uh-huh.
was Claudia,
Right.
and that she always just wanted to be chose, and she finally got to be chose.
Okay. So let's do this
Yeah,
real quick just to explain to the listeners who may be coming up to speed on what we're talking about.
yeah, yeah.
So the two main characters are Lestat and Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Lestat makes Louis into a vampire, and a big chunk
Yes.
of the story is about their quote unquote love story slash the abuse that's happening, their dynamic.
Yeah,
During the course of their relationship, they make another vampire named Claudia,
did.
who kind of steps in as a daughter figure to these two. That
Mm-hmm.
dynamic gets even more complicated as we go on, particularly with Lestat's abuse. And it's basically Louis and Claudia's story into season two as Lestat is sidelined through an injury. And then ultimately, we get to the end of the story where we're taken from the early 1900s all the way to modern times. What's interesting, and here's where I don't balk at what you're saying, because that relationship is portrayed as abusive. There's no way around that. I also don't love the story because of the quote unquote love story. If I ever said that to you, that I didn't mean to say that.
Like it just felt. I'm not. It wasn't just you. It was at
I
least 4 or 5 different people as to why I watched this, because I was like, oh, I love a love story. I just like
Oh yeah, no.
I was just like, oh, so gays get beat up too. Like,
I liked it for its queerness. So, and
yeah,
that's because if a lot of 90s kids have a relationship to the movie
okay,
that was watered down because of its stars. So
yeah,
Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt played these characters in the original movie, and
okay,
it's very cheeky because they can't be gay because they're too straight to be gay.
yeah,
The novel is exceptionally gay.
yeah,
So when they announced this series, it was like, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? And not only did they do it, but they also recast Louis. Instead of being a white plantation slave owner from the 1700s. He's
yeah,
now a young black entrepreneur from New Orleans. So
yeah,
they reconfigure the story to be, I think, personally more interesting in terms of that dynamic and what you get in
yeah.
New Orleans. Um, what I really think is interesting, that I really think hits home at the end of the series, is that the relationship is terrible, right?
I mean, okay, so this is my thing. They both have their version of the story, right? Like
That is
that's
what
that's the cute part. Like for
that's what
me,
gives me goosebumps.
well, everybody has it. Like even Daniel, who is, the interviewer, has his side of like what happened between him and that's when I was like,
Armand.
is everybody gay? Like
Everybody's
everybody
gay as
gay.
hell.
Everybody
This
gay.
is so gay.
But okay, everybody queer.
Everybody
Everybody's
queer. Yeah.
queer. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't dawn on me until the very last scene, and I gotta calm down. The very last scene, not the very last scene, but the last time we see Lestat in season two is the first time we see Lestat not in memory.
Yeah.
Every scene where we see Lestat in the show is Louis giving his memory of what happened.
Yeah.
And throughout the series, Daniel questions his memory, and all of a sudden you see the images change, you see the dialogue change, and you realize that part of the story is not just telling his story and how he was created, but that as somebody who is hundreds of years old, he his our memories are fallible.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way to do it through talking about an abusive relationship, because now are you trying to make a comment on who was at fault? Are you trying to do this or that by telling a story that talks about how memory can be wrong? Even getting into areas where Armand has amended memories.
Yeah.
So now it's like, what is your original memory? Are you remembering wrong, or are you remembering completely incorrectly because they've been manipulated?
Well, that's the thing is like I'm reminded that like history is told by the victors.
Right, right. Who's telling the story?
Yeah,
Exactly.
who's telling the story and how do you see like that lens? Like you're like do you see yourself in power? Do you see
Yeah.
yourself in oppression? You know, that sort of feel. And that's the only I think that's the only reason why I like drew to Claudia in a way very hard because it was her diary, but it also was through the lens of Louis. Like,
Right, right.
you got more of her arc because not only was she telling the story in the journal, but
Yep.
it was through Louis's eyes.
Right, right. Or even at some points, Daniel is alone reading the diary.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you're getting his interpretation of what she's saying in the book. It is this really interesting, like in the midst of a vampire story, a love story, a destiny story, you're getting this really interesting take on what it means to trust a narrator or trust the point of view,
Yeah.
which again, it just didn't dawn on me until we got that scene of them in the house where we've never seen Lestat from a neutral God's
Yeah.
eye point of view, right? And then I'm thinking, okay, so when Armand is giving his point of view on how he met Lestat, Lestat is portrayed differently. That actor,
Yeah.
Sam Reed, which we'll get into in a second, but Sam Reed is making choices that, depending on the point of view, he is
Yeah.
portraying Lestat how his narrator like sees him.
Hmm.
And the idea that we get this entire series and we actually might not have like a clear character point of view on Lestat,
Yeah.
it's so interesting to me. It's like it's a fun like thought experiment that we have all this stuff, but everybody's telling us what they think of him or what he did, but we know that there are flaws. We know that there are gaps in time. We know these people are old as shit and can't remember anything.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is the fallacy of memory. It's like, I don't know. That's what really intrigued me about it. It's like,
Yeah.
this is gay as shit. We get a bottom top scene in the very first episode where that man comes up behind him and bites him and they float and
Yeah.
like done. I was kind of curious, how did you handle the gory aspect of it? That was one thing with the show where I was like, man, if they didn't go that far with it, it probably would have gotten a wider audience. But when you dedicate 10 seconds to busting someone's head open,
So, but that's the thing is like it's a part of that memory. It's like I remember being that angry. I
right?
remember like being like that vicious or that they were that like horrible
Yeah,
enough for me to do that, you know?
yeah,
Like it I obviously like I turned away at things that were a little too much for me, but
yeah.
because of Game of Thrones, I'm a little less like sensitive.
Sure.
And because of House of the Dragon, which it's does anybody get to have their baby? Like I don't look I'm
How do
just
we procreate in this world when everybody's
yeah.
dying left and right? Yeah,
It's like you just gotta have litters in order
yeah,
to like have a baby. But yeah, I've been a little bit more desensitized, which I'm not exactly like happy about that.
sure.
But you know, it is what it is. But I really like that's one thing I did enjoy is seeing how each person saw different people. Like you see Lestat, like Lestat is similar with Louis and Assad's portrayals, but like a little weaker in Assad's like portrayal, because he saw him like when oh, is that not the Indian character?
Oh, Armand.
Armand.
Oh, okay. Sorry, yeah, I was like Assad. I was like, I don't know. I don't remember Assad.
Maybe that's his real name. I don't even know.
Maybe. It is.
like,
His
Armand.
real name is Assad. That's what it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Armand. So you see a babier version, like with him starting.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm meant to be his ruler or something, and like he just is this bratty kid, like, you know, as opposed to this this suave person that comes into Louis's life and it's just like, you know, I can give you the world as long as you do what I want you to do. Like,
I do have a very important question for you, though.
okay.
Season 1 Claudia or season 2 Claudia? It's okay. You're. It's important, but I'm kind of curious.
Season 1. I want the season 1 actor, but I do love the season 2 arc.
She gets more to do. Yeah, for sure.
She gets more to do, and it like I understand her better, but that's because she's older.
Right. Yep.
Like, as you get older, you get more context for the things that you want in life and the things and the people that you want to be with in life. And so,
yeah, I agree. I think I prefer the portrayal of her by the season 1 actress.
Yeah.
But I was not so distracted by season 2 Delaney Hales. I thought she did a great job.
Yeah, and listen, it was very cunty how they did it. They were like, she'll be betrayed differently. Just letting you know. Like, anyway.
Well, now,
In the
we'll
words
now be about
of
this
the
later.
great Nicki Minaj, child. Anyways,
On we move. Can we talk to me about Jacob Anderson. What did you think? So this is Grey Worm from Game of Thrones. He's playing Louis, and I loved him. I thought he did such a good job. I really, really thought he bit into that character, if you will. Having to portray somebody who is trying to remember, like, he's just going through the emotional ringer the entire series. I really enjoyed him. I thought he did a great job.
I think he did a great job. I do not trust him for reasons I will not say on this podcast because I would like to stay uncanceled. But
okay. You're talking about you don't trust him as a person in real life? Like, if you met him, you would not trust him?
No. This vampire man.
Gosh.
I would not trust him with anything.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed in him for you to create a person for your narrative and like be okay with her dying. Bothers me.
Yeah.
For you to allow your child to die and be okay with like whoever was involved with that.
Yeah.
Like, obviously you were with this man for 77 years. He was involved with it. And then you're going back to this man who was somewhat involved. Well, he was heavily involved and never wanted to do it in the first place.
So listeners, just FYI, later in their lives, Claudia they're put on trial. Louis and Claudia are put on trial, and Lestat comes back to kind of help them get judged, and they are killed. Claudia is killed. Louis is left to die, we'll say. But Lestat has a direct influence on the fact that Claudia is murdered.
Yeah.
And by the end of the series, Louis and Lestat reconcile on some level. And that is what Tim is bumping up against.
Yeah. I'm just like, for me, I mean, listen, this is all fictional. but I just, it does something to me to see somebody like ride for me and then get killed. No,
Yeah.
like literally followed me into the ends of the earth, even when they didn't want to. They were mad at me, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's the love story you should have been cultivating.
Yeah.
And I get it that you were like, all right, well, I'm just going to help make this girl for her. And that was cute. But it just wasn't enough. You didn't give her enough. And that's a narrative that I know far too well about. It's like
Yeah.
a lot of times our friends, our loved ones get left by the wayside for your loves, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm just like, the real love story is really in y'all's friendship. The fact that y'all two could talk to one another,
Yeah.
still chose other people instead of her.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You were in love. I get it.
All right, let's talk about Sam Reed real quick. Tim, we've been friends for a long time.
Yes.
I think I've made it very clear that white people with long hair, they're not for me. I don't, it's not my cup of tea.
Some of them, certain people.
Most of them not.
Yeah.
I just, I think of Chris Hemsworth as long-haired Thor, and then I remember the haircut. I'm like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Generally, I'm going for the shorter, cleaner cut.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. I've watched interviews with this man. He grew his hair out for this role because before
Yeah,
this
I'm
role,
sure he did.
he's had very short hair, and
Yeah.
it is not the same. And
Oh.
and he's keeping it long because he's obviously shooting season 3. And I'm literally hypnotized. I'm like, if he told me he was a vampire in real life with that fucking accent, I'm hooked.
That's
Sam
another
Reed-
thing. Everybody has a different accent.
Yes, yes. Sam Reed, I just the song that he sings in season 1 for Louis, I've
Yeah.
been listening on a loop. I think I sent you the link.
Oh, yeah,
when
yeah,
I
yeah.
found it, he's got this amazing bass voice.
He's a bass.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
We love a bass. Shout
I'm
out to the
just-
bass.
And all the points are taken that from his depiction, he is an abusive. He's literally a monster.
Yeah.
And
That
I
makes you
don't
even
know,
more horny for him.
But when you watch the there's some supercuts on YouTube of him as one-liners to Louis of being a smartass.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is fucking funny as shit. I love Sam Reed. I'm here
Yeah.
for it. Feelings on the white guy. What do you got? Anything?
Me?
Anything
No.
yeah.
He's a white man with long hair. I'm good.
Okay. I
Like,
didn't really think
and he's abusive. I'm actually really good. Like, no, and listen, you played your character very well because I hate you.
'Cause I
so
hate you.
like I don't like if I ever saw you, I probably would there would be feelings for me
Yeah.
saying like you ruined black people's lives and I don't appreciate that. But there is, it's all fiction, I get it. But in my head, it happened. And you should be ashamed of yourself.
So,
Oscar to you, sir.
Oscar
Or
to
Emmy,
you. I hate
whatever.
your guts.
Emmy.
The scene and scenario that had me. We've talked offline. I've had a pretty emotional couple weeks. And the precursor to that breakdown was the ending of Interview with a Vampire, where it came right before. And when Lestat in a neutral narrator, this is where we see them for the first time in real life, not through memory. When Lestat asks Louis if he hurt himself,
Yeah. That was very like that was hard to like watch.
and when you
September
and then
8th will never be the same for me. Like
when you realize that Lestat's the first guy he turned also killed himself, and that this is something that haunts Lestat, that something is wrong with him.
Yeah,
That he doesn't-
his blood like creates some sort of
he's not allowed
depression.
to love. He's not
Yeah.
allowed to find a love or another companion, and that if he
Yeah.
does, that they will.
Well, loneliness is his thing. Like, yeah,
I struggled. I really I and it pulled it together for me in terms of, again, understanding the character through these other lenses, and then when you get him in New Orleans in that sad state, and he hasn't talked to Louis in 50 years, and
like 70 years.
well, yeah, and he only talked through Armand in the San Francisco scene, so it's been even
Yeah.
longer, right? But the last time he got an update from him, it was that he had harmed himself.
Yeah.
And then the first time they see each other, he has to ask him and know what happened. I crumbled. Anyway.
No.
I appreciate your point of view, because I agree, like that the depiction of
it doesn't mean that you don't care about them. You're just
Right.
horrible together. Like,
right, it's not a healthy relationship, which is why I like to think that there was reconciliation, but that they're not back together. Because the last
I
scene
like to
is-
think that they're probably back together.
well, the last scene is Louis going back to his penthouse and like challenging vampires.
Yeah.
So I think that they, as the house crumbles around them, I like to think that there's an understanding that Louis knows that Lestat saved him back in Paris, right? Like, he's the one that changed people's minds.
Yeah.
So he wants to let him know that he thanks him for like saving his life, and that there's some reconciliation so that Louis can go like do whatever he wants to do, that he's free from Lestat's ghost. That's how I like to think of it, but you think they got back together.
I like to think that this very rich vampire is now going to take his boyfriend back, and they're gonna fight the demons together. Like, who cares that I wrote this book, bitch? I don't care, and I got my man back, and all the naysayers can fuck off. Like, it's very that. It's very like, it's very strong person coded. It's like, damn, you so strong. Why you let this man do all this? Like, it's very that. And yes, I am putting too much on this narrative, but I've seen this narrative time and time again where I'm just like, he can do whatever he wants to do, and you're just going to love him anyway, and that's fine. Like, and I guess it is a cautionary tale to all those people who are the friends of that person. It's like, they want him, they want them, leave them in it. Because in the end, you will get killed, or you will be hurt in the long run, because they will always, until they decide that they want to get out of it, they're not going to.
Yeah.
So if your friend is, complaining to whatever, just listen. Don't try to fix it. It's not gonna be. It's not worth it. Like, just be there to be like, okay, yes, I understand. You gonna go right back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we can have brunch next week when you mad at him again. Like that sort of thing. Because if you get in the middle of it, you're going to get burned, and then you're going to lose your friend. So, it is. But
Okay.
I also appreciate that everybody can be represented in everything. So,
Okay. Okay. So, out of 5 stars, what would you rank it?
3.5 for sure.
You give it 3.5 after that feedback?
Listen,
I would have thought you would have given it like
the
1 or
other
2.
stuff was really good. Like, I loved Daniel. Daniel was me, because a lot of the time I was like, girl, bye. It's not
Right.
that serious. Ease up on this love bullshit. Like, and like just really, I'm a person who is very unbiased. And so, even though I know that Lestat isn't good for you, I'm gonna let you know, bitch, he did save you. He did it. He did that. I'm not saying go back to him, but yeah, he
Right.
did do that. It was not this man.
Right.
I would be that person.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna withhold anything. Like I'd be like, that's not the tea, sis. The tea is like he's taking too much credit for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I would give 4 out of 5. I really
You
really
get 4
enjoyed it.
out of 5. Wait, I thought that you really loved it.
I was really emotionally affected by the ending of it. I think there are parts of the series that are a little clunky. They're not bad. They're not terrible. It's just some of the story. I think there's some stuff in season 2 that, again, nothing really bad. It's just season 1 really got me, and then as we got to the end, the resolution with everything, like
You
that's
got
where.
real quick.
Yeah, I would definitely watch it. Definitely 4 out of 5. I think if it was a little tighter or they expanded on a few other things, it would definitely be a 5.
Yeah, like for instance, what was Claudia's girl's name?
Exactly.
Yeah, like I really would love to have had more of that moment with them.
Yeah,
Like just more love for Claudia.
yeah. They turn her and then they immediately go on trial, so there's no development.
Yeah,
so-
and it's just like, damn, like she just got somebody and you already gonna fuck it up.
Yeah, she doesn't. She really doesn't get a happy ending. She gets turned as a teenager. She's held in that body forever. Like her story is just tragic, and yeah, I don't know, but
No.
I would give it 4 out of 5. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought the 2 lead performances were great. And yeah, really, really glad you watched it.
Yeah, I mean the story was good. I give it 3.5. It's a story that I know very well, and I believed it. So obviously, it's like kudos to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, Tim,
I'm
oh, go ahead.
trying to think who was hot. Who was hot to me? I liked Rashid, the real Rashid. The real Rashid was very cute.
Oh yeah, very cutie.
Yeah. And no, yeah, just that.
Just that. All right, Tim, what's making you live this week?
What's making me live this week is apple cider donuts. I had one. So good. I got it from the this farmer's market the other day. It was so delicious. I wanted to, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. But I walked to it and I walked back because I had to walk it off. So it was nice.
Nice.
What about you?
I'm living for, I do enjoy Thanksgiving dinner with the family. Dad knows how to cook, and
Yes.
we're gonna do that, and then we're heading to Ireland on Saturday. So
Yeah.
got vacation coming. So got a couple things I'm excited for, and holiday busyness. Yeah, super excited.
I love it.
Where can people find us, Tim?
You can find us anywhere you can find a vampire. You can find them on any station, whether it be the CW or Netflix or even BET. But mostly and importantly, you can find us at comeandchub.com.
That's right, cup-and-chub.com, where you can find our podcast episodes, buy our merchandise, get that cute sweatshirt for you for this cold winter coming up. Yeah, we'd love to see you. Thank you so much for listening to us.
Yes.
We're so excited. Tim, always good to see you, baby.
Good to see you too.
Everybody have a good week. Mwah.
Bye. Suck dick, not blood.